Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Senior Moment, helping seniors age in the right place. My name is Patrick with Shore Home Care Services.
And I'm Shira with Veteran Care Services. A Senior Moment was designed to be a resource outlet to provide information in senior healthcare to seniors, professionals, and their families. Today we have a very special guest, BJ Thomas with ClearCaption Phones.
ClearCaptions is an FCC certified telephone captioning provider. Their goal is educating the public on this federally funded program for people dealing with hearing loss. As a Title IV ADA specialist, BJ focuses on providing educational seminars in communities, clubs, senior centers, veteran organizations, and any outlet willing to share this valuable information. Once people learn how to qualify and are interested in bridging the gap of communication on the telephone, BJ personally visits their home, hooks them up with the caption phone, and shows them how to use it, all at no cost.
My name is BJ Thomas. I'm a Title IV ADA specialist for a company called ClearCaptions. And what we do is we provide caption telephone service for people that have hearing loss. We're a government-administered program, and we're certified with the Federal Communications Commission. And part of what we do is we go out and provide educational seminars and workshops at organizations, clubs, communities, and veterans organizations in order to educate the public about this no-cost caption telephone for those suffering from hearing loss. One of the hardest parts of my job about the phone is actually because it is no cost or free. And the reason is, anytime you hear the word free, you always think it's too good to be true, or there's a gimmick or a catch. And one of the main reasons I go out to do educational seminars is to educate people as to where the money comes from and how they can qualify. What happened was, about 30 years ago, the Title IV of the Americans with Disability Act created the Telecommunications Relay Service Fund. That required all telecommunications companies to pay a fraction of our fees into this fund. So to this very day, on our cell phone bills and our landline bills, you'll see a line item called Universal Service Charge or FCC Connectivity Charge. It's anywhere between 50 cents to $1.50 that is taken out of everyone's bill in the country that goes into this fund. So when someone needs it, they're not only entitled to it, it's their civil right to receive it because it's something they've already paid for. Since this is a government-administered program, there are 3 qualifications. Number 1 is you need to have hearing loss, and hearing loss can mean many different things. For this particular hearing loss, whether you have hearing aids or do not have hearing aids, if you are having difficulty hearing on the phone, that is what is required. The other 2 are technical. You need to have access to internet, whether it be Wi-Fi or through Ethernet. And the last one is you just need to have a home telephone number, and that can be a landline or if you have it through your cable company. These qualifications are it. There are no other restrictions. There's no age restrictions or income restrictions. And this also has nothing to do with any insurance you have. And once a person determines that they have qualified, what they do is they reach out to me to schedule an appointment where I come out personally to hook up their phone and teach them how to use it. A couple of things about the phone. It's a normal home phone. It may look a little different because there's a screen on it, and that's where the words come up of what the other person is saying to you. So this way, if you miss something that's said, you can actually read the words of what they are saying. The phone is much louder and clearer than a normal home phone. It goes up to 40 decibels of sound. Most home phones that you currently have are regulated only to go up to 20 decibels. So most people I hook up can actually hear better and take a look at the captions as a backup, just in case they miss something that's said. It has a normal handset and a speakerphone. And I mentioned speakerphone because that's important. Most people with hearing loss can hear better on speakerphone because the sound travels equally to both ears. It also has a built-in answering machine, so if people are struggling getting their messages, they can hear them a little bit better and then read what the message was. It also has a built-in phone book, so people can program their contacts just as they may have done on their cell phones. And it's much easier than to call those people that they want to call just by tapping on the name of the person. When I come into someone's home to hook up a caption phone, my main focus is identifying a place in a home where I can set it up for them where they're going to be comfortable using it. One of the restrictions I do have in a home is finding an active phone jack. And nowadays, active phone jacks in a home are not always easily accessible due to cable companies hooking up modems. So sometimes I need to connect the phone where the modem is or where an active phone jack is. After I identify that place, it only takes me about 10 minutes to hook it up. The remaining time I'm in the home, which is about 30 or 40 minutes, is sitting down with them and explaining them how to use it. I want to make sure they have a full understanding of how to use all the components of the phone, so this way, after I leave, they are comfortable with it. And even after I leave that day, if they have any concerns or any questions, they have my cell phone and they can call me directly or my customer support department directly. Since I began working with ClearCaptions almost 2.5 years ago, I've learned so much about hearing loss. And a lot of what I learned is what people are dealing with health-wise and safety-wise due to their hearing loss. And a lot of issues occur is when people are calling them, whether it's family or friends, and what they do is they pretend to hear what's being said. And they're saying yes and no to questions or agreeing to things that they don't know what's being said. And that's not only good for communication with their family and friends, but in the age we live with robocalls, there's been so many people that I've talked to that have been scammed on the phone because they can't hear what's being said to them. So they're agreeing to things or sending money to people that they don't even know because they think it's a family member or a friend, just because they can't hear properly. And also what hearing loss causes is isolation. There's been so many people I've worked with that have been stuck in their home because they've given up calling their family and friends to come out and pick them up, to bring them to the grocery store, or just to go out and grab a bite to eat. It's become very frustrating, not only for the person, but for the family and friends being able to reach out to them. So there's a lot of safety and health risks caused overall with hearing loss. This has been one of the most rewarding careers I've ever had. It allows me to go out and help people, and I don't have to ask them for a dime. And what it allows me to do is to identify with families and the people that need it, how this can best help them. And some of the people that I've helped have been incredible. Actually, I just hooked up a customer yesterday. It was a granddaughter who called me for her grandmother. Her grandmother is just turning 90 years old this year, and she is one of the main caregivers for her and is having difficulty communicating with her with just basic communication of stopping by or if she needs anything. So when I went out there yesterday and I was able to hook up the phone, she was actually able to hear not only me, but more importantly, the granddaughter. We did a couple of test calls, and the granddaughter called her from outside, and she was able to hear every little thing she said. When the granddaughter came in, this is the first time this has ever happened to me, she came up jumping up and down, so happy, and gave me the biggest hug in the world. It was the first time I've ever gotten a hug because the granddaughter was so happy that she knows that she can actually talk to her grandmother right now. The other frustration that occurs with hearing loss is for married couples or couples living together. And I work with a lot of husbands and wives that come up to me and they're so frustrated with each other because either they both can't hear or one of them can't hear, and they constantly are handing them each other the phone to take the messages or talk to the person for them. And I had met a woman last year. She lived in Brick, New Jersey, and she was 97 years old. And she came up to me begging me to come to her home to visit her husband. Her husband was in denial. He didn't believe he had hearing loss, but he was driving her crazy. So she invited me out to the house to show him the phone. I went out there, hooked it up for him, showed him how to use it, and automatically he was actually able to hear better. And we did some test calls and he was able to talk to some families and friends. And what happened was just before I left, she grabbed my hand and said, "Thank you so much." And I said, "No, that's okay, no problem." She goes, "No, you just saved my marriage." And she's been married 75 years. And at this time, this is where that frustration level comes in for someone that's 97 or 95 years old. And this phone was actually able to ease that a little bit. And that made me feel really good about that. And whether it be for yourself or someone you know, If there's anyone suffering from hearing loss and they're going through the frustration of not being able to hear, or you have any concerns about their health and safety, you can reach out to ClearCaptions, and you can reach me directly at 732-288-4889. And even if you know somebody in another state, I have counterparts all throughout America. So if you know of someone in California, Texas, Florida, or anywhere, I can get one of my counterparts to help them as well.
We are so proud to be able to provide these resources to you and your family. Thank you, BJ, for coming on the show and explaining a little bit about what you do. Please tune in next time for more information and valuable resources for you and your families.
Thank you for having a senior moment where we're helping seniors age in the right place.